Terrible way to start a live stream like this. How is this audio? Can you hear me okay? Is the audio fine? I'm going to move the chart around. Is the chart okay? How are we all doing today? The FORFLIES HQ is upgrading. How is this? Now, yes? Everyone good now? Everyone hearing me? Perfect. Here we go. I was really excited for this. The microphone is now hanging from overhead, so it's actually, you can see this. This is how the microphone is being suspended now, and it's gonna be a lot better. So I was really excited for this one. I'm just gonna keep it directly over my head. That should be okay. And we're gonna have amazing audio now, although it looks a bit weird. All right, here we go. How are you guys doing today? I'm gonna wait 1 or 2 minutes. Just about 30 seconds, something like that, for some more people to come in today. Just make sure that our live stream today is stable and everything. Hell of a day, right? Bitcoin pumping up massively, pumping through all of our resistance areas, completely invalidating most of my analysis, although some of it coming in absolutely clutch. So I'm going to be talking to you about this rejection a little bit. And then, of course, Mr. Musk. I love this guy. I love this guy. If I was gay, hell yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I love this guy. And, have you guys seen his new Tesla? His new Tesla is amazing. The Tesla Model S and X. That thing is bigger than my head. It's actually a lot smaller. It's just closer to the webcam. Right, guys, let's get started. I don't want to delay it any longer. So, look, we all know the main thing that happened today. Elon Musk tweeting about Bitcoin, changing his bio to say just Bitcoin, and now there's actually a trend of a lot of people doing exactly the same thing. I have to guess Pomp must be doing the same thing. Let's check out what he's doing. He didn't do it yet. Wow, okay. But you get a lot of people around the crypto space today really, you know, like changing their bios and things like that purely because, in a protest because of GameStop. We all know what's been going on with GameStop, but if we don't, I'm not going to talk about it right now. This is a Bitcoin channel. However, later on towards the end of the live stream, I will take your questions, and I guarantee that that I will get some questions about GameStop. So I will go through that in a little bit. Right, let's talk about Bitcoin now. Huge pump. Elon Musk, essentially, yeah, just kind of promoting Bitcoin a little bit. He is, I think, the richest person on the planet, and you know, obviously a very prolific Twitter personality. Shout out to Mark, shout out to Phil today in the chat. Shout out to everyone who's tuning in today. Where is the jacket? Here's the jacket. I'm wearing another one. Right, let's talk about this. So Bitcoin ending up finding support at this area, which I completely didn't expect. So I'm going to throw my hands up here and say I was absolutely 100% wrong about this. I was saying that the support here would fail, and it didn't. However, the subsequent pump, this is actually where we had something much more akin to a black swan event, in my opinion. This is a prime example of why I don't like trading all the time. You know, like my approach in trading is open a trade and run up to some nice profits and close it as quickly as possible. You know, I get uncomfortable keeping a position open because you can get pumps like this. And, you know, a large part of why we got this pump today, ladies and gents, is because of that tweet from Elon Musk. It is because of this trend on Twitter of people changing their Bitcoin bio. And there's nothing technical that could have indicated that this would happen. You know, like this is just completely out of nowhere that it came. And I don't think that there was a good technical reason for this pump other than hitting this resistance once, then coming down for a support test and hitting it again, and then, and this is the important part, bouncing off over here. So if you were watching this at this time, and I wasn't because it was 8 a.m. and I was sleeping, but if you were, oh no, I'm sorry, this was midday, I was probably still sleeping. If you were watching this at the time, Bitcoin getting a bounce off this level would have been the warning sign that the next time we reach this level, if we reach this level, that Bitcoin would probably pump through it. But that's exactly what happened. So the good news is that this support area flipped to resistance and it worked as resistance, right? We got 3, in fact, fairly substantial dumps off this resistance area, which is great because the 4th time that we tested it, we did end up breaking upwards, and that's really good, my friends, even because Bitcoin ending up dumping down here right now because we found resistance here recently. I think we could find support here now. In fact, I think there's a very good chance of that happening. Bitcoin has shown immense strength, and really, the thing with trends like this is Bitcoin only needs to show immense strength like this once, for example, and that's going to be enough to completely send things rocketing on upwards, and that would absolutely make things very, very exciting. Phil in the comments, smash a like for FORFLIES, what the microphone was being held on. However, we don't need that anymore, and the audio should be much more direct now, so I'm very, very excited for it. The FORFLIES office keeps on upgrading. FORFLIES team keeps on growing. Very, very fun. What did I want to check? Right, yeah. And so Bitcoin pumping through this resistance is a good thing, I think, because we already tested it 3 times, so we know that it's resistance, and because we know that it was resistance, and because we know that it was support, I think it can be support now. So this is really, really good. Now, while this pump happened, Bitcoin ended up pumping all the way up until this green box, and if you guys remember what I said just in the last video, right, this was super, super recent, I told you all the reasons I was bearish, and I was very, very strong in that opinion. So again, I throw my hands up. You guys are going to love this. I throw my hands up and I say that I was completely wrong about it. However, the one thing that I did say, and I always gave this caveat, is that if Bitcoin managed to pump above this box, I think it would go straight to this one. And if we go above this box, then I think we would go up to the all-time high. And we didn't do the second thing, right? So the analysis of Bitcoin's breakout being pretty spot on there. I'm very glad I wasn't in a trade, so I only made money here. Which was absolutely great, and I hope that many of you guys made money on this move as well, because to be fair, breaking above this box, it did make the pump up here very predictable. I've been saying it for many, many days, and hopefully it didn't catch any of you guys off guard. Bitcoin getting rejected off this box, though, this is where the fun is, because I think with this setup right now, Bitcoin really does have some real potential to rise back up to that all-time high, right? We pumped through the moon, and when we look at this from a psychological point of view, guys, this is really a situation where Bitcoin actually, it rallies people in terms of excitement and things like that, and that actually, like as soon as that returns in a market like this, things can go absolutely haywire, So just to draw for you an example of what this can look like, I want to zoom out onto the 4-hour time frame and show you this. Bitcoin trending down in a falling wedge, now getting that really, really big breakout, right? And so all of this time it's boring, it's depressing, it's annoying, and then Bitcoin pumps straight up to the moon. That really, really excites a lot of people, and that can be what returns the fear of missing out to the market. And more importantly, on both sides, it could be what excites people to buy Bitcoin again, because oh my god, look, Bitcoin is mooning up now, GameStop was mooning up, the retail are making money, fuck the feds, fuck the Wall Street players, whatever, right? We really start getting excited about these things, and so this can kind of send Bitcoin up a little bit, and so on the buy side, I think it would increase demand, but on the supply side, well, what's going to happen if we've got bullish sentiment in the market, right? People are going to try selling less and less of their Bitcoin now because they're just less bearish, because this is exciting. And really, this is one of the patterns I was talking about for quite a while. Again, I have to reiterate, like I wasn't expecting we would pump out anything like this at all, right? This was completely unexpected for me, and it did just mainly happen because of what happened on Twitter. We had that hype. No one could have predicted it. However, we were talking about this falling wedge for quite a long time, about how Bitcoin was in this bullish pattern on the chart, and getting this breakout now is huge. If we end up coming back down to say $34,000, that would be absolutely beautiful. If we can come back down to this level, test it as support, and then go back up, I would be very, very happy with that. However, I think we've already done the bulk of that work right now, because Bitcoin has gotten, let's switch it on to the 30-minute time frame, Bitcoin has gotten a rejection off this level, came down to test the box once already, right? It already tested this box, and then went back up to test it again. Went back up and then came down to test it again, where we are right now. So ideally, we dip a little bit lower into this box. I don't know how much lower we're going to go into this box, to be honest. This is good enough, but dipping around into this box right now would be very, very bullish for me, and it would signal that Bitcoin could end up taking some more legs to higher, more exciting levels. So that would obviously be very, very exciting, because the thing about these areas, right, and I keep on talking about this when we start breaching new all-time highs, is that the higher we go, the less strength each resistance level has, right? So this resistance level, this whole resistance box area that I've been talking about, I was saying that this is very strong resistance in my opinion, and I still believe that, although now I think it's strong support. Strong resistance usually gets converted into strong support. However, up here, we actually didn't have much of a chance to establish much support or resistance, right? So we did get a couple of rejections and things like that. So it's no surprise that Bitcoin topped out here. Like I said, this is what our analysis told us on this channel. So if you were tuning into this channel, if you were smashing up those likes and already subscribed to the channel, you would have heard my analysis here where I said that even if, and I am bearish, but even if Bitcoin does pump through and does something unexpected, I would expect it to stop either here or here. And in both cases, it stopped here, and now it stopped here as well, right? So it's very obvious to predict resistance here, but the good news, ladies and gents, is that we spent a lot more time trading in this box than we did in this box, right? And that's purely because this is the all-time high, and we typically spend a lot less time trading at our all-time highs. I get a lot of questions of people asking me to say the numbers. I'm sorry, Eric, if you're watching this on your phone. I'll try to keep it in mind, but you also got to bear in mind that these videos, these live streams are freestyled, right? And so it's not so easy to remember so many things all at once. But to clarify, so this box right here is at 38,000 to 39,000. The first box down here is at 34,000 to 36,000, right? So 34 to 36 and 38 to 39. These are the relative areas. However, you're very welcome to just draw this on your own laptop after when you get back to your laptop and things like that. Now, like I was saying, I would expect that this area to be a weaker area of resistance, and here's the good news. We've already tested it twice, right? We came up to this level, got rejected. Came up to this level again, got rejected. Number 3 could be the breakout. Or, even better, we get rejected here again, we find support here again, and then we break out on number 4. The longer it takes, the better, right? However, what's very, very good, and I actually said this in a recent video or live stream, is that we've had quite a good consolidation so far. We've had quite a good continuation pattern so far, so I mentioned even if we do end up pumping up, it's pretty good, right? Bitcoin ended up dumping by about 32%, something like that. It's done it over the course of about 3 weeks. So we calculated on a time frame, on a time scale perspective, this is good. We've corrected for a relatively long time, which is great. And in fact, if I show this to you very quickly on a long-term time frame, let's look at the weekly chart, for example. We have now, we have now had a couple of weeks of consolidation. So this is great. I mean, if Bitcoin now ended up taking its next leg up all the way up to the bloody moon to $50,000, 60, 70, whatever you want to say and rub yourself off to, now, in my opinion, it looks healthy, right? Because we had something like that over here. We had something like that over here. Let's switch it onto the logarithmic chart and we can see that a little bit clearer. Look, we've had our continuation patterns where we just do something a little bit boring over here, over here, over here, and now we've had a new one right here. And each time we ended up pumping up massively out of these, and actually I think more and more each time, something like that. It's quite strong, and it stays strong in trends like this. So this to me looks really, really good. And so if we switch it back to my Gemini chart, because that's where I've done my drawings, look at this, we are dumping down into this support area now, so this is great. I might even enter a long position while I'm live on this stream today, guys, because it's just so exciting. Guys, let's not talk about Dogecoin. Let's have a little bit of self-respect over here. If we can, if it's possible in this crypto community, let's have a little bit more self-respect. But no, on a serious note, yeah, so I mean, like I said, I think because we've already tested this resistance area once and now twice, I think that this next attempt, it could be the one that ends up breaking us up, and we have very, very good support here. Let's actually see if we have any support on the indicators that I love using. We have Ichimoku support forming in this area now as well, which is great. Momentum, where is momentum on this chart? Bam, right there. Beautiful, beautiful. We've now got a very big spread on this EMA ribbon. For those of you who don't know what the EMA ribbon is, please pause the video now and search this into YouTube on a new tab on your laptop or your computer. Or just make a note of this video, search this into YouTube and watch my video on it. I explain fully what this indicator is and why it's one of my favorites. But right here, seeing a very, very nice spread. No surprise that we are starting to, hopefully we haven't found support yet, but no surprise if we do start finding support in this area. Let's see what the 4-hour time frame says as well. So this has just crossed bullish. We've now left a bearish trend. We entered a bearish trend according to this indicator right here. We traded all the way down here and we've now crossed bullish. So that's also a good sign. On the daily chart, we have had support this entire time. So I actually need to give a shout out to the viewer who asked me to look at the daily chart, because I was saying that this is bad for Bitcoin, and I'm not going to repeat why, because it's definitely not relevant anymore. But that viewer in the live stream, some live streams ago, I'm sorry I forgot your name, but you did point this out to me, and you were absolutely correct. So nice move over there. However, yeah, we move it back to the smaller time frames, because that's what's exciting right now. I do think that the next test could be what breaks the resistance level. And once again, for those of you just tuning in, if you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do that. But once again, for you guys joining in, we have a weaker resistance over here compared to what we have over here, in my opinion, right? And so I think that we're going to find strong support in this area, because we had strong resistance already. So strong resistance usually breeds strong support in the same place. And over here we do have an area of resistance, but we now have that massive bullish sentiment return into the market. We have a situation here where supply is probably going to be decreasing now, because people will want to hold on to their Bitcoins, and demand will increase now because it looks exciting again. And that's the only time people buy Bitcoin, it's when it looks exciting. So definitely something to keep in mind. By the way, I've just remembered a very exciting announcement to share with you guys. We've just finalized the next new person in the FORFLIES team. We've done the interviews. We went through 400 applicants, and we found the best person. And I'm really excited. It's just another expansion to the team. We've expanded so much over the past year and a half or so, and obviously we're not slowing down. This market isn't slowing down. Things keep on growing. So it's a weird time for me to announce it. I know I'm right in the middle of some analysis, but I just remembered it. So we've just finalized with this person. She's absolutely great. Very excited to have this new person joining our team, and it's going to make everything better for well, on all aspects. It's not particularly going to impact one thing on this channel, on VIP, gold, whatever. Everything will be improving with this new staff member. So shout out to that person. Obviously, I can't reveal her identity for OPSEC reasons, but very cool nonetheless. Right, let's see what we got in the questions, and I'm also going to take a look at the comments. I'm not done with my core analysis yet. I will take a look at that in just a little bit. Sorry, I will switch to your questions in just a little bit. I just want to make sure that I haven't missed anything key with my analysis. I think it's time to look at Ethereum as well. Ethereum, throughout this entire trend, has actually been showing pretty good strength. Pretty good levels of strength. However, today it's pretty obvious that Bitcoin took the driver's seat again, so that's fine. That's bound to happen. I think it's pretty normal. However, what I want to point out is that Ethereum bounced off this level very nicely, bounced off it again. We did drop below it here, so this is actually where I entered a short position, and I suffered a really small loss. I mentioned to VIPs that this position I was taking was a high-risk position, so I entered with a small amount of money. However, you did know back then I was, well, this was only 2 days ago or 1 day ago, right? I was very bearish on the market. I saw a lot of reasons for us to go down. Like I said, it's not a black swan, but this black swan event with people just randomly tweeting about it, analysis cannot predict that. Analysis can't take that into account, and that's why I have stop losses. So I did get stopped out in that position. It was minus 21% on a small balance, because I mentioned that it was a high risk position. And broadly speaking, I mean, look, we have another fake out here, right? So there's nothing really that's much more bullish than a fake out, in my opinion. Faked out over here, rallied really hard, right? Faked out over here, rallied up to an all-time high again. And I think we're potentially doing something right now like that again, because if we zoom in a little bit further, I mean, look, it's so beautiful. We bounced off the support zone again. We consolidated here. We pumped up nearly to the all-time high, and I think we're getting ready to break it again. We have some support over here, so hopefully Ethereum finds some support. Exactly the same thing as Bitcoin right now. Same kind of support area. Hopefully Bitcoin finds some support and then rockets on upwards, because really I don't think that it's going to take a lot for this market to do extremely well very quickly. So that to me is very exciting. What else have we got with my notes? So there's little things about the Ichimoku Cloud. Actually, let's take a look at that. I want to see where the Ichimoku Cloud and things like that is with this chart on the 1 hour time frame. I think it's actually been better than Bitcoin. Nothing important on the 1 hour. However, yeah, 4 hour right here, very strong. So Ethereum actually bounced off an area where the Ichimoku Cloud was getting weaker, which is very interesting. And I guess it could come down to this support again and then bounce up. That would actually make a lot of sense. That would form a very nice ascending triangle as well if we went down to that kind of area. Potentially, ready to find some support around this area. I don't know how much I believe that, but that still does look good to me. Any momentum support? Yeah, quite a lot of momentum support as well on the 1-day time frame for Ethereum. So look, all of these things with this you know, minor black swan event or whatever it is, I think it definitely does now paint the picture for these coins to continue setting new all-time highs, because that's the trend they were already in. I think that's what we were assumed to. And you know, all we needed was a big kick like this, either you know, a really big kick like this one that we're in right now, or dumping down to support to cause maximum pain, and then I thought we would get that big kick. So we've done the much less likely thing, in my opinion, which is still absolutely great. It's more fun for us. And now looking at these resistance areas, my god, look at that. Yeah, we're making beautiful use of this box right now. Literally, we can go as low as about, yeah, 33,900. We can go down to 34,200, and I would still be bullish in this range right now, because we have now, I think, flipped this area to support. Ideally, we dip a little bit lower, and then I wouldn't be surprised if we had a very quick rise up, or yeah, I mean, you know, potentially we have a more slow, sensible rise upwards. But it doesn't really matter. I think that we are looking at some beautiful, beautiful sentiment for this kind of thing to repeat again. Mega Skate is asking me for my entry price. Well, sure. So it's very rare that I talk about my positions publicly outside of VIP, just because that's the unique selling point of VIP. But I haven't done that for many months. So for this kind of position, you know, honestly, if I wasn't live streaming right now, I would probably enter right now, like right now, and then I would probably enter again at about 34.2. Maybe again at 34.6. So I would have probably 3 entries, probably the first one starting right now. And my stop loss, I would probably place around here. Andreas, if you're watching this live stream, Andreas is our lead analyst. Andreas, if you're watching this live stream, can you please check those numbers for me and see if you agree with me? So the stop loss I would choose would probably be about $33,000. I think that's pretty safe. That's a pretty safe start. Actually, let me measure that, because I would probably trade this on 5 times leverage. My average entry would be down around over here, and at 33,000, that's a 4% drop. With 5 times leverage, it's a minus 20% loss. So I'm super comfortable with that. I think that's very, very, yeah. I mean, the maximum stop loss I usually take is, you are watching. Nice one. Yeah, if you think that if you think those are good numbers, please let me know, and let's write it up, because I'm on board with that. I know. So Andreas, he's a little bit more bearish than I am. However, I think that the writing is pretty clear right now, in my opinion. I will probably, I'm more aggressive than Andreas, which is sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. We're very, very good for each other. The Bogdanov said to hodl. FORFLIES, are we breaking the ascending channel? What ascending channel? Are we in an ascending channel? No, we're not. I don't know what you're talking about. FORFLIES, can I respond to your Insta? I will after the live stream, brother. Phil, if the pump today was an Elon Musk SpaceX rocket to the moon, his rockets are the only ones that come back down. Phil thinks that sub 30k is still in play. So let's talk about that for a minute. That's an interesting idea. Going below $30,000. Yeah, I think it's still possible. However, I think that the support area is really strong. And obviously anything is possible, right? I think it's possible we go to $1, and I think it's possible we go to $0 as well, right? So, you know, anything is possible. However, just seeing that this area acted as resistance really well, and seeing how this area acted as support really well, and seeing how when we zoom out, we are in an exponential parabolic rally, the overall sentiment that I have is on larger time frames, right? When I zoom out onto, let's say the 8 hour, I think would be a pretty fair time frame for me to say this. The larger time frames, I will, in a trend like this, be 100% biased to the upside. And so that is to say, if there is something which is kind of like a neutral sign, I will favor the upside in this kind of situation. On the short-term trend, before today, I was favoring the downside because we were in a short-term downtrend. So my thinking to do that actually served me very well. We got a lot of the analysis with these moves 100% correct. The only thing that I didn't predict so well, that I didn't see so well in my analysis, is I expected bigger drops than these. but I didn't, you know, I thought we would get down to like 27, 27.7, something like that. It's the only flaw we had with the analysis, right? And so this approach, just to be clear, was a really, really good approach. And I'm super happy with it, and I wouldn't change it because it worked. However, when we zoom out onto the larger time frames, we have now flipped these resistance areas into support areas. And that's the reason that, yeah, obviously, going back down to 30K, very much on the cards. We've had situations like this, ladies and gents, where we ended up pumping up to levels like this and coming right back down the next day, you know, and then dumping even lower. 100%. We've seen situations like that a lot with Bitcoin. So that wouldn't be completely unreasonable. I mean, it would be completely unreasonable, yeah, but it wouldn't be completely surprising, right? Because Bitcoin has done that before, right? And so it's entirely possible for that to happen. However, like I said, sticking to this time frame, sticking to the fact that we are in a very bullish market right now. We've already flipped this area into, so already done it. We've already done it just hours before. And this was a strong area of resistance, so I would expect it to be a strong area of support now. Those are a lot of bullish things going for this market right now. I think the biggest one is just that we are still in an exponential bullish rally in a bull market, and I think that means that, you know, these kind of pumps, you know, they can really restore a lot of confidence into the market. You know, like, yeah, we're getting a sell-off right now, but we're at a support level. You know, like, support levels are where you're supposed to buy as per technical theory. It's not me giving you financial advice. It's just like you bounce off support levels. That's the point of support. Just want to read this message. So Andreas agrees with me. He thinks that we could enter right here, that I could enter right here, I'm sorry, and then enter again with 1 or 2 entries, and then stop loss around, I said 33,000. Yes, I'm not going to type to you, that would be too distracting, but so you're hearing the FORFLIES team work in real time. This is kind of how we do it. We do it through voice messages and things like that. But yeah, I think, you know, 31,000 would make a lot of sense, although it's a bit too low in my opinion. You know, I think just with the stop loss, if I were to have my average entry around 34.4, 34.5, yeah, that becomes a minus 45% loss on 5 times leverage. So I would be quite uncomfortable with that. If we rally up to this resistance, that's a 60% profit up to this resistance area. Assuming I enter right now, what is it? Up to this resistance area becomes a 50% profit. Up to the all-time high becomes a 100% profit. And 50K, as you know, is my main target. Is a, oh, I can't do that math anymore. I believe that's a 215% profit. It doesn't matter at that point. It's huge. So that would be very, very exciting. So Andreas, yeah, I'm on board with that. Can you write it up, please? And I'm going to enter this trade live on stream. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah. That's it's exactly what I would do on a normal day, 100%. So those of you who want to get a feel for how I trade, these are the kind of trades that I make. I make them when I feel very sure about something, when I feel like there's really good sentiment or good reasons for something to happen. And I think that this is one of those situations right now. So 100%, I'm on board with that position today. I think that it's a good position. I think that this is one of those positions, and this is like every position I take ever. I would be happy to take the same trade 10 times in a row. So even if this position fails and we end up dumping really low and we do go below $30,000, I would, if I had, you know, if time rewinded and I still had the knowledge that I have now, I would take this position again and again and again and again and again, just because I think that it's such a healthy position. And you know, like, it doesn't matter if it fails. The fact is that by taking positions like this, where I feel this sure about it, yes, individually each trade will fail. Sorry, each trade can fail. However, with a good system, following strategies like the one I've just outlined live in this live stream, it does tend to work out better than it fails, right? And so that's a very complicated way of saying, basically, if I did this trade 10 times, I would expect it to succeed 8 times. That's a big part of my trading strategy, and that's what lent me to a very, very successful success rate, really, over the past 6 months or so. So those are exactly the kind of trades I like to take. I want to highlight for you a really, really cool message from somebody in the comment section today, although I'm not going to say who he is because that would be dangerous for him. But this guy made a £4,000 profit and something like 6,000 US profit. Regained 25% of everything that he lost since joining VIP. He's trading super safely, making big gains, regaining a big amount of what he already lost. But it keeps getting better because this person just sent me new messages recently. Plus 51% profit here. So his small gain turned into a bigger gain while we were talking about it. He made these profits while recovering from COVID. And the next message here is showing me some proof of that trade. We exchanged a couple voice messages, but this is where it gets even better because this guy messaged me again today with an even bigger gain, right? Over here, he made a 51% gain. Actually, it was 59% in this screenshot. And over here, he pulled a trade 3 times bigger than that, 166% profit on Ethereum, like a fucking king, like a legend, absolutely slaying the market, waking up to another £4,000 profit this morning, roughly about 6k US. And he could have had 8 if he hadn't overmanaged this trade, but he decided that a guaranteed, and this, I love this so much. I know you're in the comments, and I already replied to you, but I want to do it again right now. This is amazing. Like, you know, deciding to go for the safer but still massive profit instead of going for the riskier big profit, I am all for that. It's my favorite way to trade because I find it safe. And, you know, the point is this guy, and I said this before, right? If you guys were watching the previous live streams where I first showed you this guy's testimonial, I said that he's trading safely, so he's going to be able to make much more £4,000 profits. This was only like a week ago that I showed you this testimonial, maybe even less. And already here he is doing the same thing again. Absolutely great. And now mentioning he's almost halfway there to clearing the original loss that he had from just before he joined. I realized I actually sent him the same message again afterwards, but he did mention, so over here in this screenshot, he was only 25% of the way to regaining his loss. Now, less than a week later, he's halfway there. So absolutely beautiful. A trader completely turning around. And then some more profits that he sent me afterwards. Again, this is the same guy. 29%, 79%. Up by 0.15 BTC today, so he's already, just in one day, he's paid off more than his fee of entry into VIP. Absolutely beautiful, really just killing it, just absolutely killing it, trading in safe ways, taking profits early, and he's doing it perfectly. I mean, this is an exemplary trader in my. If you want to know what healthy trading looks like, it looks like this in my opinion. You know, he's keeping tight stop losses. Yeah, he's getting disappointed because he didn't make as much profit as he thought he would, but he's still killing it. He's still making good money, and you know what the best part is, guys? He's making it consistently. So there you go. If you want to join VIP, if you want to see how this person was able to gain access into the information that we had in VIP, if you want to gain access to the same stuff that this guy had before joining, right? Before he joined, he was in a really big loss with his trading account and already recovered nearly half of it. I think it's his second week in VIP. If you want to find out how what information and things like that he had access to in order to make this gain, then the steps to join VIP right now are on screen. I want to go through a couple questions now, getting a lot about Doge. Not going to look at Doge, maybe later, maybe right at the end. You guys are really excited about Doge. I'm kind of surprised by that, but no, unfortunately not right now. When we start getting a little bit less serious, we'll talk about Doge, but right now I'm just not interested in that. Guys, if you are just tuning in now, please smash up those likes as well. It really does help with the algorithm. Really is very useful, and it helps me a lot. So if you've enjoyed these videos, if you learned anything already during this live stream, then please smash up that like button. Really does help. What else have we got in the comments right now? Is the 24k and 20k range still in play? Michael, good question. Michael is asking me, do I think that we can go down to $20,000? No, I don't think so. However, if we did, I would still be bullish. You know, I think it would still be absolutely great if we went down this low. I don't think we will, but I think it would be really cool if we did. And I think that there's some really nice support waiting for us over here. Although, just seeing pumps like this, I think each time we get a pump like this, it reduces the chances of falling back to 20, unfortunately. And actually, it's worth noting that as soon as we had our big blue sky breakout, when we smashed the previous all-time high in 2017, right at the beginning of the bull market, when we smashed that all-time high, we didn't come back down to retest it. So I think that there is some good reason to believe that it might not happen again now. Let's see what else we have in the comments here. Do I think the S&P 500 fallen out of a rising wedge? I'll take a look at the S&P 500 a little bit later, Julius, if you can drop the question again later on. Shout out to Conrad Crypto in the chat today. Guys, if you have questions for me, please tag me at FORFLIES like this. Conrad Crypto is somebody who's been with us for a very, very long time. And he's an absolutely great guy. Somebody's asking me what website am I using. This is tradingview.com, and there is a link in the description for you to get a membership with it. It's absolutely great. You can just sign up with it even if you don't buy a membership. It's called tradingview.com. It's the only thing that I use to analyze the markets. It's my favorite tool. It's very reliable. It's very safe and stable. Only 300 likes. Let's get them a little bit higher today. We're having a good day. And let's cut back to the analysis as well. I want to talk about GameStop a little bit. I want to talk about GameStop. I know that a lot of you guys have asked me about that, and I've been staying silent. Let me give you the. Let me give you the. Oh, GameStop is traded on Bitfinex now? What? No way. And on FTX. Nice. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna use the real GameStop. Right there. Yeah, there it is, the real GameStop ticker. And what are we doing? Let's just use the 1 hour time. This chart is all over the place. Look at this, my god. So the backstory with GameStop was there was a hedge fund that was going short on GameStop. Essentially, they were trying to drive the price of GameStop lower. If you don't know what GameStop is, it's a big video game selling company in the US. They used to sell CDs for like the PlayStation 2 and stuff. And shout out to Dan C. You liked this video twice on both of your accounts. Thank you. Thank you very much. Although please don't do that, because YouTube will think that I'm botting my likes, and that will be bad for me. But thank you. There was a hedge fund that essentially, you know, before this big dump, GameStop was actually looking like it was in a pretty bad place, and it looked like it could end up dumping very, very low. And so this hedge fund was essentially, and hedge fund, by the way, if you don't know, is how do I say, it's a lot of very rich gray-haired people putting their money in one place, giving it to another gray-haired guy. They all live in Wall Street, and they're all, you know, they're all just absolute low lives. I'm really generalizing right now just for drama, right? Like just to be clear, this is just for drama. I'm generalizing, but they absolutely you know, are the kind of suit and tie people that you would see in the movies, and they were trying to drive the price lower. However, there was a group of people on Reddit, which is an internet forum, that noticed that actually GameStop could have a short squeeze. What is a short squeeze? A short squeeze is where there are too many people with too much money betting on the price of the market going down, to the point where if somebody were to pump the price higher and really send the price very, very high, those people who were trading the short positions, who were betting on the price going down, the only way to close a short position, these people would have to close their short position. The only way to close a short position is by buying Bitcoin back. Because what you do when you enter a short position, I'm sorry, GameStop in this case, what you do when you enter a short position is you buy, let's say you entered a short right here. At this price level, you would buy, let's say, 10 shares of GameStop at $15, and then you would sell them instantly in the hope that GameStop would go down. That's what you would be doing in this case. You would buy them from the exchange, and you would borrow them from the exchange, and you would sell them instantly. But that creates debt, temporary debt. This isn't like credit card debt at all. It's not like someone's going to come banging on your door asking for money. It creates temporary debt where you now owe the exchange 10 shares of GameStop. And the idea is that you've bought 10 shares at $15, and you're going to buy them back at $10. That would be a successful trade, right? So you sell them at 15, you sell 10 shares at $15, you've got $150, and then you buy back those 10 shares for $10 each, which means you've only spent $100. 10 times 10 equals 100, 15 times 10 equals 150. So over here, you have $150, you buy them back with $100, and you get to pocket the difference. So you just made $50 trading this move. It's a very, very simple concept. It's super easy in hindsight. Sorry, before you start out, but obviously this is probably one of the most complex games ever, and so it's not so easy as it comes across. But that's the main idea. However, if your position starts going badly, and let's say you went short over here, that means you bought back. Sorry, that means you bought shares of GameStop at $12 with the anticipation to sell it, let's say, at $9. However, GameStop keeps going up, and it keeps going up, and it keeps going up, and eventually you will have to close that position, right? However, and this is where the catch is, the only way to close a position where you still owe those shares to your exchange is you need to buy those shares back. And by buying them back, you will trigger a very quick, very sudden price jump, because there's going to be a lot of people that have no choice other than to buy GameStop shares. And these are people who originally sold it with the anticipation of it going lower in order to pay back the debt to the exchange, which is the 10 GameStop shares that they shorted. They need to buy them back, and they don't get to choose where they're buying them back because the price is exploding upwards. So they get screwed, absolutely destroyed. This is why, by the way, when you borrow money on a leverage trading exchange, it's nothing like a credit card. It's nothing like a mortgage. Your position will just be closed as soon as you hit a 100% loss, you know. And so it's not nearly as risky as a credit card or anything like that might seem. So that's something important to get your head around. And if you don't really understand that, and you want to understand a little bit more about the mechanics of that, so you can actually trade with those things, because if you don't already know, that's the only thing that I do when I'm trading. I found ways to do it in ways that I believe to be safe. I have a course waiting for you. It's a complete A to Z course on how to trade everything I know. You can gain access to the information about it by following these steps on screen and asking me how to join VIP. I see that my assistant is here. We've got our lead analyst and assistant here live today. That's great. So he is replying to your messages as you ask about VIP. But right there, that's a very quick explanation of what happened with GameStop. And the thing is, it just happened on such a large extent. Reddit, this internet forum, the people there, they call themselves autists on Wall Street Bets, which is a community on Reddit. They were little guys, average guys like you and me, buying shares of GameStop, and they did it so well that they pumped the price so high, and they forced this hedge fund to close so much of their positions that they lost something like $15 billion in like 2 days, something like that. It was something stupid. Someone says he's unsubscribing unless he sees the 4-hour chart. But anyway, these Reddit people, they bought it up so much, and they forced this hedge fund to close so many positions that this hedge fund went bankrupt inside of like 2 or 3 days, right? So it's a big celebration. It's us versus them kind of thing. The little guy won against the big guy. And it's got this massive euphoria around it. But is there any good reason for GameStop to be valued at $300? No, not really. No, I don't think so. Currently, this is considered to be the true price of GameStop. But look, let's be honest. I don't think this is the real price of GameStop. I think this is massively overvalued. And, I mean, we'll be able to see this because right now GameStop is sexy. It's in the news headlines constantly every single day. In fact, this was in the headlines so much that it might have even drowned out COVID news headlines, depending on where in the world you live. So that would be interesting if you didn't hear about COVID for a day and you only heard about the stock market. But obviously, it's just super sexy right now, and it wasn't. This is the important thing to keep in mind, guys. A big part of this pump wasn't because people genuinely wanted to buy GameStop. It was to say a fuck you to Wall Street and things like that. So it's not like there was necessarily any bullish sentiment against GameStop. This GameStop stock was just the how do I say, it was just the dimension through which the masses, the public, were raising their middle finger to the people who've been stealing taxpayer money from them for, like a century or something. So I'm on board with you guys. I'm on board with anyone who did this. I think that trading this is stupid, like really, really stupid. I think it's extremely stupid to trade this. However, I love seeing it. Nothing will make me happier than seeing people who steal taxpayer money getting fucked. And what's even better about this, ladies and gents, is that I'm about to slip into politics now just for a second. Bear with me. What's even better than this, in my opinion, is that because of this pump and the hedge fund getting going bankrupt and things like that, the broker which people in the US were using to cause this pump, they actually disabled purchasing this stock. They disabled the ability to purchase this stock. That's number one. And number two, there was some bullshit government legislation about this, which really pissed a lot of people off, because why is the exchange limiting us, the people, from doing X, Y, Z? And why is the government trying to step in as well? And it really pissed a lot of people off. And I actually think that that's partly why we got this big pump on Bitcoin right now. Okay, this is great. This is great. I think I'll just enter right now. This is exactly what I was looking for. So let me see what Andrea said. No, you're not distracting me, bro. Don't worry. Yeah, no, you don't worry about it. You're not distracting me. And yeah, tell Dan to post it straight away as well, please. So yeah, I like your numbers. Oh, Andreas prefers that I use 10x leverage. I don't prefer 10x leverage. 10x leverage. Let me show you the numbers Andreas is showing me. I'm doing this trade live with you guys. So the first entry that Andreas is showing me is 34.8, although we're below that level now, but that's the first entry. And the second one he's showing me is 33.9, which is roughly over here. That's quite low. Somewhere over here. And the stop loss he's showing me is 33.5. That's a very tight stop loss. Did I get those numbers wrong? I must have gotten those numbers wrong. But this is the first entry level he was saying, the second one I would use, and my stop loss. To give you some context, Andreas and I, we mirror exactly the same trades. We do everything exactly the same. We're like twin brothers. And actually he was trained to do analysis by me. He already knew a bunch on his own as well. He was a VIP member, and he's absolutely great. He's like the best guy ever. And so we make exactly the same trades. Like I just copy him all the time, and he copies me, and that's just how we do it. Do I think we're going back to 38 today, Velcoin? I don't know about today, but I definitely think we're going back to 38k. Yeah, 100%. So guys, I'm gonna turn off my screen for like a minute, and I'm gonna enter that trade. I'm not doing it on the laptop anyway, but I am gonna enter that trade, and I'm gonna take 5 times leverage for this because I'm pretty happy with 5 times leverage. So yeah, very, very exciting. I've never done a trade live ever. It's probably a terrible idea, but life is all about new experiences, right? Bybit's trading at a bit of a premium. Oh no, it's just that Bitcoin pumped. Okay, never mind. Alright, and I am in my position. I don't have a stop loss set yet because I haven't fully confirmed where I want it to be, but I'm pretty happy with where it is right now. I'll just choose that stuff later. Nice. That's fun. Never done that before. Is my video back on? Yes, it is. Here we go. So, is FORFLIES even live right now? Yes, I am. Isn't this like the easiest way to tell if I'm live? Already getting a bit of a bounce. It's too early to analyze this, however, if it sticks, I wouldn't be surprised if it's what rallies us back up to 38. If we dip a little bit lower, I will still be fearless, unless we dip down below 33.9. So still super happy with it. Just sent that into VIP as well. Fun times. 2021, huh? Not a bad January. Not a bad January, right? Not at all. But yeah, one of the questions I want to ask you guys is, did you understand my explanation of going short? The way I described it to you with regards to GameStop? Did that make sense? If yes, please just say yes in the comments. You could even shoot up the likes if you understood that. If you understood that, that's like a potentially, you know, like $1 million skill you've just learned. So if you think that's worth clicking the like button, then please go ahead. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. This is very, very time-sensitive content. And you want to make sure that you can watch it as soon as it's released. Alright, yes, you guys found it useful? Amazing. Nice one. That's very good. I'm glad that that helped, because I was always, I'm always nervous when I explain these things, because when I was learning this, I was a lot stupider than you guys, right? I mean, I was 15 to be fair, so I was 16 actually, so it's not easy to learn these concepts when you're so young, but yeah, just a lot of yeses. Snake didn't understand. If you didn't understand it, tell me what you didn't understand, and I will clarify it in this live stream. I will make sure that by the end of this live stream, nobody has any uncertainty about it. I will teach it to you as well as I can. Did I go short Ibrahim? No, I just went long. I just went long. And the reason I went long, if you're just tuning in, is because Bitcoin found support of this level, which I believe to be a very strong area of resistance, flipping into a strong area of support. And it's already been confirmed, the support. Look, we bounced off very nicely. I think we're getting a second, even deeper test, but I have no reason to believe that the support would fail right now. Let me think. The only reason that Bitcoin would fail the support right now, I think, is if this just turns out to be a continuation of a very weird black swan event, where we get a really big pump that is immediately erased by a really big dump. And I want to see, I'm sure there's examples I can show for you of this happening. Just really, really stupid big moves that, you know, like you couldn't have expected, and it just screws people in both directions. There's a lot of examples of this. They're probably actually back in 2018. No, they're definitely back in 2018. I want to show this to you just to show you that this isn't completely unusual. You know, like we've seen this stuff before. Let's look at, this is probably a perfect example. Let's look at this on the 1 hour time frame. What happened, right? This is it. This is a perfect example. If you go back to this time, I don't know if my videos from this time are still public, but if I did make a video at around this date, there would have been a very good chance that I did not expect this pump, and then the pump quickly just erased itself. You know, this was an example of something completely, and I'm sure if you read the headlines on Bitcoin on this day is the 22nd of August, 2018. If you read the headlines for Bitcoin on this day, things would have been pretty crazy. It would have been some kind of completely unexpected move, just like today. And then later on, Bitcoin erased that entire move on the same day. This was brutal. This was brutal. On the same day, Bitcoin pumped and dumped and just erased everything that it did. And did we dump lower after that? I'm curious. Did we go low? No, we didn't go lower after that. No. So it just, I mean, literally, and then we ended up rallying up, didn't we? Of course we did, because that would be the painful thing to do. So this is an example of a pump where it was something completely irrational and unreasonable, and in that same vein, it dumped in a very irrational, unreasonable way. However, Bitcoin did keep climbing on upwards afterwards. So we could be in a situation like that. However, I think the chances of that are very slim. I really wouldn't expect that to be the case right now. So, and you know, like a big reason for that, guys, is and this is a big point, you know. So I want to make sure I play this with as much significance as it deserves. is that we're in an exponential bullish rally right now. And, you know, the last time that happened on this example that I showed you, which was, can this chart go back that far? Yeah, it can. Which was what? Right here. The last time that happened over here, Bitcoin was in a very bearish, very different market. So we did this with bearish with a bearish approach, and we're doing this right now with a very bullish approach. And, you know, again, we look at it from a psychological point of view. I just find it to be very unlikely that Bitcoin can pump this high and not reintroduce that massive bullish sentiment, because people only want to buy Bitcoin when it's going up. You know, I think that's pretty obvious. And if that's the case, then I absolutely believe that Bitcoin can recapture that bullish energy and that excitement in the market. I think it absolutely can capture that and send the price much higher, because people will not want to sell. Their supply will go down, supply will be restricted, and people will want to buy. That's what I'm anticipating at this point. From a technical point of view, this to me looks really, really good. Couple of questions in the comments. Where did I grow up? My lips. Yeah, everyone tells me to use lip gloss. I might. Where did I grow up? In London. In London. Toy Wolf, hey Sammy, how long did you trade before you became profitable consistently? Oh man, I was profitable consistently pretty early on, but that's just because it was a bull market of 2017. And even though I was consistently profitable, I was still losing money, because I would put too much money in my losing trades and too little in my winning trades. Where I really became a good trader, there is a story behind this. Are you guys ready for a story time? Let me know if you are. There is a story behind how I actually became a good trader. And most of you, some of you have probably heard that story already. Probably not most of you. But there is a good story behind it. And there are some action steps other than joining VIP, which you know I will never stop talking about. There are some good action steps which I can give you afterwards as well for how I did this. I was born in Mother Russia. I don't think so. Another question. Hey FORFLIES, please help. If I'm in a trade entry price at 36.1 and I want to add more, should I exit out of my trade and start a new one, or just add to my margin? Nobu, I can't tell you what to do. However, it is possible to increase your existing position. Assuming you're talking about a long position or a buy position, it is possible to increase your position now by just buying more now. And that would serve the same purpose. There is no need to close it in order to... Yeah, you guys want that? So, so here it is. So, blow up my camera for this one. Here we go. And move the microphone a bit. So yeah, audio seems to have been pretty good today. I mean, none of you guys were complaining about it to begin with, but... I hope that it has been even better today. That's always good. And so here's what happened. I joined the crypto market in early 2017, something like May, April, something like that, when Bitcoin was at about $2,000. And I thought that I was a genius by the end of the year, which is when Bitcoin crashed. And then 2018 came around, and I realized that I was actually a terrible trader. And I didn't know that because I was just in a bull market. And so when you're making money, you tend to push trading education to the side. You tend to think that you're already good enough. Why do I need to learn more? This doesn't just apply to trading. This is in any industry, you know, like a young guy, or, you know, just regular guys like you guys watching. I know that the average age on this channel is like 30 something. You don't have to be young to make this mistake. It's ageless, you know, like a lot of people will make this mistake no matter what their position, but a lot of people will just push education to the side. And so I only picked it back up when things got difficult. You know, it's like people who are completely godless and are very blasphemous with all of their actions every single day, but then a crisis comes along and they start praying. And that's how I was with education and trading. So I picked it back up in 2018. However, I was also in high school. We've just hit the hour mark as well. Hope you guys are enjoying this live stream. I certainly am. Smash up the likes and subscribe if you haven't already. But at that point, there was a big but in my journey, which was that I was in high school. I was 16 years old. Yeah, I was 16 years old, and I wanted a different life. I didn't want to go to university. I didn't want a normal job. I didn't want to work 9 to 5. As you can see, it worked out pretty well now because I'm in Dubai with the Burj Khalifa behind me. By the way, new office over there. We're upgrading the office again. It's happening, like super close. It's very, very close to being finalized. So that is going to be way cooler than this, because everyone tells me, you know, like, oh, why would you live in the Burj Khalifa? Why would you work in the Burj Khalifa? It's better to look at it. And to me, that's like saying, why would I be with a Russian girlfriend if I could just look at someone else's Russian girlfriend? You know, like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I want it, you know, like, if everyone's looking at it, I want to be in there. If everyone's looking at the girlfriend, I want to be the one with her. That's like, I don't understand where this idea of it's better to look at the Burj Khalifa comes from. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, not relevant. I had to make a decision, you know, stay in school, things like that. I was 16. I wanted to drop out. And for me, in the life of a kid who has never had real problems, I thought that was a lot of drama. I was raised in welfare and things like that, but I didn't have like real problems, you know. And so that to me was a really big deal, and I had to figure out how to let's just see the price of Bitcoin while I'm live. By the way, we're at 34.3, so that long position already working out pretty well. But I had to basically make a lot of money or get serious with school. And I hated the idea of getting serious with school. I've always been an outsider. I've never been good with authority and things like that. So I decided, after quitting many times in crypto and then coming back to it one last time, I decided, look, exams were coming up. It was like April. It was April of 2018. Exams were coming up. I had to get serious. But I thought, I'm going to give it one last try with trading, and this time I'm going to do it differently. And I told myself, this time I'm going to do it differently. I told myself this many times, so obviously it was a lie this time as well, but I really did mean it this time. And I really meant it very strongly when I said that this time I will do things differently. And I did, because the big difference that I did with this approach that I started with, you know, around April of 2018 was, I picked up the same books that I was reading with trading, but this time I actually did what they were saying to the T, you know, like to the full stop. I did exactly what the books were telling me that I should be doing, exactly what they were telling me. And that meant my trading became very boring, and it meant that my trading became very mechanical, and it meant that the upside that I stood to gain from each trade went down. But it also meant that the downside, the risk in each trade, also went down. So I really did it in a bulletproof yellow brick path, exactly like the books told me way. And that was the golden bullet. You know, that if I had a secret to my success, that was it. It's just that I actually did it differently. And I actually did it the way the books told me. I actually traded safely. I actually stopped over trading. Like, I did these things that I knew I was supposed to do. I just did them. And you know, it's really, you know, like a lot of people, no, I would say 99% of people, there's gonna be that one guy who's just really unlucky, you know, like just that really unlucky guy, and everything in his life goes wrong. Okay, hopefully you're not that guy. If you're not that guy, if you're not that 1%, the other 99% of people, if they have problems trading, I promise you, I'm 100% certain that 99% of people with their problems can be solved by just doing what I did. And it was trading in safer ways, in sensible ways, actually committing to what the books would teach you. So I mentioned this actionable step. Obviously, the main one I'm going to tell you about is joining VIP, because you can see me exercising the result of that inside of the group. And I see your messages about it, by the way. My assistant is here. He will respond to you shortly. But this is where you can see me doing everything I do with my trading in real time every day. I don't trade every day, but whenever I do trade, I tell you what I'm doing. I run you through exactly what I'm considering, from, you know, where I'm just thinking of a trade to where I've decided I will do it, and then I'll tell you where I'm going to enter, different things like that, and so on. So you know, there's a lot that goes into it. However, if you want the options that I used, because at the time I didn't have it, you know, like I created the product I wished I had. then actually what I used were the 2 books in the description, which are they are called Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets. This was just a TA book, so you don't really need this if you are watching these videos. The main one was actually Market Wizards. This book, Market Wizards, in the description, and that is the book that changed my life. And it's all about the psychology of trading. So it's similar topics to what we talk about in these live streams. If you like these live streams, you're gonna love that book. And if I'm not mistaken, you can get the audiobook version for like $7. So for $7, I would pay like $7 million for that. You know, like that. If I had $7 million, you know, like I would pay that much money for that book. That's how valuable it is for me. You know, if I had to sacrifice half of my net worth just to read that book, even now, I would do it. Like that's how much I like that book. And you know, I finally started implementing those things, and that's where it changed. That's where I became an actual, what I would consider to be a good trader. It was very funny actually, because right at that point, I started, because things were going so well, and I was doing things so well, and I was in the correct mindset to be a trader, my trading exploded. And actually for the next 2-3 months, starting from June, June, July, I was pulling triple-digit profits, 100% plus profits every week nearly, with nearly a 100% success rate. So kind of like what we've been doing in VIP over the past 6 months, I did it for the first time after doing this. What I've been doing inside of VIP over the past 6 months has actually been better. And it's the only time in my trading history that I have ever exceeded my first initial jump in good trading, which was June 2018, July 2018. That was the first time that I really traded well, and up until September, October of last year, it was still the best phase of trading I ever had. Recently, we've now done better than that inside of VIP, so I'm very proud of that. Very happy with it. However, that's how I that's the magic bullet. That's the secret antidote, whatever. That's the hack, whatever you want to call it. Some inaccessible thing. That was it. I just did what the books told me to do. I did it properly. I did it religiously. I kept a trading journal, by the way. That was huge. That was really important. And I actually, because it's so important, I have a VIP video dedicated on it inside of VIP. That's in the VIP library, which all members get access to, where I literally give you my trading journal as well. Well, I don't give you it with entries. I just tell you, like I show you what mine looks like and things like that. And that was it. That's how I that's how I got there, and that's how I've been able to maintain that. So good segue, and I think that was an important thing to touch on. So there you go. I hope you found it useful, whoever asked. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Let me reposition everything now so I can go back to your chat. And there we go. Okay, and we're back to normal now. Hope you guys found that interesting. Can I repeat my stop loss? I don't have a stop loss yet. I can't really sit down and check that stuff because I'm on a live stream. Okay, I see the stop loss. Here it is. So let me show you what stop loss I would use. It would be, so for those of you who are just tuning in, I entered a long position during this live stream around these levels using 5 times leverage, and I would place my stop loss, I think I'll do it right now, at about $33,000, somewhere over here. That's where I'd place my stop loss. And the reason I would place my stop loss here is, let's drop a line here to show you exactly how this looks. $33,000. Reason I would place my stop, and this is actually not a perfect stop loss. I have to make this clear. If it was a perfect stop loss, it would be probably about over here, you know, just a couple $100 lower. In circumstances like this, where I can't choose between a stop loss, I would actually use 2. I would have 50% of my position being stopped out here, and another 50% being stopped out here. However, I don't have time to do those things right now, and it's not hugely important, to be honest. From the current price, this would be a 5.6% drop, which is about 27% loss, 28% loss. It's okay. It's on the high end of what I like, but it's okay. And yeah, I think the upside is great. I think there's a strong chance that we bounce up relatively soon. So I'm pretty happy with this. Those of you asking the book, it's in the description, and it's called Market Wizards. That's the life-changing book I mentioned. The first book in the description, that's just basic TA skills. If you can understand this video, you don't need that book. But Market Wizards, everyone needs to read that book. And it's interviews of world-class traders. And it's Jack Schwager. He's a great interviewer. I see your VIP inquiries, by the way. They've just been responded to. So if you want to find out about VIP, my assistant's still here. You can reach out and gain access to the information about it by following these steps on screen. But yeah, Market Wizards. It is written by a guy called Jack Schwager, and he's just gone ahead and interviewed some of the best traders in the world, asked them relatively personal questions, sometimes difficult questions, things like that about their trading, and it's just built for an amazing book. Literally the best read I've ever had, other than self-development books and things. So if VIP is out of your price range, if anything that I offer is out of your price range, and by the way, even if you're already in VIP, it's I can't. That book, you see, there's two reasons that book is good in my opinion. Number one, it gives you good steps to listen to. It gives you good insights. But number two, and this is actually the bigger one for me, and this is the reason I still read it from time to time, is you get to listen to successful people talking about the area that they're successful in. And for me, it's not even about the words they use necessarily. It's about the energy that communicates to me and how that puts me in the right mindset. That's exactly why people who join VIP like this guy tend to make really big money very quickly. Plus 51% over here, plus 166% about a week later. The name of the book again, Market Wizards. And the reason that, let me type it for you. Market Wizards. It's in the description. Go read the description. But the reason that I find this book so useful, and the reason people in VIP tend to make such big gains after joining, is because they see what good trading looks like in their experience, and in front of them inside of VIP, and they hear me talking about it, and that just puts them in the right kind of like brainwave state to make good money. This probably sounds crazy, but a big thing that I believe in 100%. It's, look, put it this way: if you spent, I don't know, what's a good example? What's a really good example? If you spent an hour locked in a room with the best mountain climber in the world, and you were only talking about climbing mountains, you would be a better mountain climber when you leave that room. And it's the same thing as listening to this book, and it's been the same thing for these VIP members that have pulled consistent, massive profits. This guy over here, once again, already made back half of what he lost since before joining VIP. This guy lost a lot of money before joining VIP, already lost half of it. Already gained back half of it. So those are some really interesting things to take note of. And once again, if you do want to join VIP, we've just reduced our prices 1 or 2 weeks ago. They're at the lowest they've ever been. And if you want to join VIP, then the steps to do that are on screen. Click on the first link in the description down below, then click on the @FORFLIES button, and then click on send message to ask me how to join. Want to go through a couple more of your questions now, so let's see what else we've got here. What's the most common leverage that I use? 10. Most of the time I use 10 times leverage. Right now I'm using 5 times leverage because my previous trade failed. I mentioned that earlier on in this live stream. And I always get less aggressive when I have a failed trade because it just shakes my confidence. So I always trade with a little bit less aggression, and I dial up my aggression when things go well. Ash Cook, I have a Jeff Goldblum vibe about you. I don't know who he is, brother. Maybe I'm too young to know that. Seems very genuine. Thank you, and looking forward to learning what I can through your streams and videos. We have similar thought processes. That's amazing, Ash. Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely stick around. We've got a lot to talk about on this channel. These live streams, I'll do them every time the market moves, every time you guys request them. My favorite book of all time is probably Think and Grow Rich. That or The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. However, I read that book when I was 14, so I wouldn't say the same thing if I read it again today. It's just at 14, that was an amazing book to read. What else have we got in the comments today? That's been a pretty good, you know, like past 10 minutes of this live stream. I'm very happy with that. Hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are, smash up those likes. If you found this useful. Yeah, someone in the comments agreeing with what I said about the Russian girl analogy. This guy wants a Russian girlfriend. Yeah, probably shouldn't have gotten so graphic with that. It wasn't graphic at all, to be honest. But no, it's just a good analogy, and that's why I'm really excited for moving the office into the Burj Khalifa. It's just a really cool place for an office. He's the guy from Jurassic Park? Okay. I have seen that movie, I just didn't recognize the name. Oh yeah, big point from Downey8 in the comments. This book I just mentioned, Market Wizards, if you don't already have an Audible account, you can get a free trial for 30 days, and you can listen to that book for free. So that's really useful. Okay, yeah, I just don't know much cinema. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of movies. I stopped watching any entertainment after Game of Thrones because it was so disappointing. Andrea, yeah, there you go. Just bought the audiobook on Audible with the 1 credit offer when you open the account. Audible needs to sponsor me. For those of you who don't know, I've actually narrated a book on Audible. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get it back on topic. The next support area I see for Bitcoin. See, here's the thing. This is a very strong area of support. So to answer your question in brief, I think this is the next area of support. The area we're in right now, this is very strong in my opinion. I think the next area is here, which is 31.7 up to 32.6. But, and there is a big but here, but if Bitcoin falls below this level, I don't think that this level is going to hold Bitcoin back, and I don't think that this level is going to hold Bitcoin back. Some very important caveats. I don't think Bitcoin is going to survive this support level or this support level if we end up falling down to them now, because now we have very strong support. And so I'll give you a perfect analogy. Here we go. Are you ready? Let's switch it onto another chart where there are no drawings, and I'll be able to show this to you with a lot of clarity. We have this support level. Let me draw it for you. That looks something a little bit like something a bit like this. This is probably what the support area looks like to me, and that starts at 34k up to about 35.5, and then we have another support area at, you know, let's just say between 31 and 32, something like that. Not really important where I draw this because this is just to prove a point, and another one at about 30k. And, you know, the analogy I want to give you right now is you've got like a really fat guy falling down, and there is a floor over here which is like really hard concrete, and down here is cardboard, and down here is paper. And the idea is this guy is just fallen from the ceiling. He's falling down. Concrete should be hard enough to break his fall and allow him to stop falling and then ideally bounce back up. Concrete should be strong enough. However, if it's not strong enough, then I don't think the cardboard will be strong enough, and I don't think the paper will be strong enough either. And the reason I'm giving you this analogy is I see this as a strong area of support. I do not see this as a strong area of support, and I do not see this as a strong area of support. So if we break the strong area, I don't think the weak areas are going to help Bitcoin. Fat guy falls through this guy. I don't think he's going to stop here or here. I think it would get very, very bad if Bitcoin fell below this box. Very bad. And I would actually go short of that. That would be a very easy short position for me. Very easy. I would not be happy with that at all. Ah, good question from Victor. Hey man, how you what? His question's weirded. His question is worded very weirdly, but he's basically asked me, why did I enter when Bitcoin is very clearly dumping? A good friend of mine, who some of you may know, Crypto Kirby, mentioned to me a long, long time ago that the best time to buy is on red days, and the worst time to buy is on green days. And if you're buying on green days, you're doing it opposite. You're doing it the wrong way around. And obviously that's a generalization, and you know it's not even a rule or anything like that. Like it's just a super like you know, it's just a funny little small thing to say. But I have no fear entering positions in areas like this if I see good support, regardless of how we dump. Because if we ended up bouncing up, put it this way, the guy who bought over here, clearly a genius, clearly super, super smart. So Victor, you wouldn't have bought here, and I definitely wouldn't have bought here, but the guy who bought here was a better trader than you and me. And that's why I'm buying here. Because we're at a really good area of support, and support areas are where you tend to bounce. Look at this, nice bounce here, nice bounce here. Am I in a high-rise building? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. You guys love my analogies, and I love you all back. That's why I love you guys, because you guys put up with my analogies. FORFLIES, I just want to thank you for all the information you share and for just being the person that you are. Thank you so much. That's an amazing comment. Thank you, Mihai. Is that how I say your name? Mihai? I don't know. But thank you very much. That's very, very nice of you to say. Guys, it's been a great stream already. We're an hour and 20 in. If you've been enjoying it, smash up the like button. If you've learned anything at all in this live stream, this has been a very informative one. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel as well. I see your questions about VIP, and my assistant is answering them already. Yeah. Will I show you guys my new office? Can I? I can't really move my recording setup right now. No. Not now. I can't show it to you right now, unfortunately. Unless... Nah, there's no way for me to show it. It's empty. It's just this corner. This is just where I record. I literally just got this office like 3 weeks ago or something. The new office will be way cooler. Wait till you see the new one. Wait till you see the new one. This was just temporary. I never liked this one from the beginning. I might still keep this one. Most likely I will still keep this one because the team is actually now becoming pretty big. But I will get a new one just for me, just for these videos. I thought we just got a testimonial there, but that was someone joining VIP. Oh, Ibrahim, I lost 60% of my portfolio. What would you recommend I do to recover it? Ibrahim, I will never give recommendations. I bet you guys are tired of hearing me say that. Ibrahim, I made a video just for you inside of the Trade Insane package. So if you would like to watch that video, the Trade Insane package is in the description. Just go in the description. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th link. Number 5, it's the 5th link in the description, is my Trade Insane package, which is a very, compared to VIP and things like that, very cheap course. It's actually an ebook, which I wrote myself, and it comes with an audiobook, which I recorded for you as well for free, and it comes with an accompanying video course. And this is the part that applies to you, Ibrahim, there is a bonus video in there from the FORFLIES Academy, which answers your exact question. Somebody asked me from VIP, he asked me, I'm down 50%, everything I do in this market seems to make me lose money. What else did he say? and I just can't, like, yeah, he was in a really, really bad state, and I made a video just answering that question, and it's in the Trade Insane package, and you get to name your price on that. It's an amazing package. I'm so happy with it, but you get to name a fair price for it, whatever you want to pay. There is a minimum price of $37, something like that, but that's it. I came for the TA and stay for the other TA. SpookyBot, what website am I using? This is tradingview.com, and the link to this is in the description. Oh, I can never take my jacket off. It's in the description. Oh, nice. Hi, man. I was about 40% in the profit today, but at the end of the day, broke even. Nice. Good. At least you broke even. Do I have tips in regards to taking profits? So, look, I've had this problem a lot in the past, and one of the main ways that I avoid this problem now is I'm just very, very quick to take profits. And I take profits at area where you might have thought, I'm not going to do that. It's too early to take profits. As a rule, I generally close... And this is very general, so don't hold me to this. And VIPs will see precisely how I do it, precisely why I do it. But as a rule, I generally close about a quarter of my position at roughly 20% profit. Just to give you an idea. And that locks in immediately what? It locks in an immediate 5% profit on the whole position if I break even afterwards. So, good. Not bad. I mean, if I get 10 of those... 10 5 times profits. What is 5% profits? It's not massive, but it's still going to be good. Let's run this in a calculator. So $100 times 1.05 to the power of 5. This means if I trade with $100 and I make 5% profits, I will have a 27% gain. Respectable. Not too bad. My car issue, not solved, unfortunately. Not yet solved. And it's out of my control. It wasn't even my fault, and that's what really pisses me off. And it's not a car crash or anything, it's even worse. But unfortunately, out of my hands. Should have it back in 2 days. But I don't know. I don't know. It's extremely depressing, honestly. Like, I feel like shit constantly when I think about it. Because, you know, like, I'm a young guy and I'm a trader, right? So what else am I gonna get attached to? Definitely not a fucking woman, so... you know, like, I've done that once. And so, yeah, I'll just get attached to cars. And, check out the Ichimoku. Looking very good on the 12-hour. Nice, let me take a look at that. Let's look at the Ichimoku Cloud on the 12-hour. I don't usually do this. Because it's just a weird time frame in my opinion, but let's see. Oh wow. Huh. Okay, nice. So yeah, I mean, look, dumping down just to kind of kiss this cloud right here, dumping down to 33, then coming back up, that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, couldn't fault that at all. That would be very nice, wouldn't it? Very, very nice. Mark, you do scripted meditations for mindset. Nice, yeah. I've tried them before. Didn't really enjoy it too much. Didn't actually see much benefit either. The car I have, Ferrari Portofino. It is beautiful. It is the best car ever. But yeah, that's a very cool Ichimoku Cloud. I'm not sure how much analysis I can say about it though, because it's not historically been very accurate. No, it's not. So, Adam, tap the like button. FORFLIES is dropping knowledge. Thank you very much, Adam. Please do. Who asked me that question about the 12-hour? I want to find your name. I've lost it. So many comments. I'm sorry. I don't see that comment anymore about the 12-hour time frame. But so it does look very good on the 12-hour time frame. You know, if we look at the support, these are two really, really nice bounces. But my problem with it, to whoever asked, is that it doesn't have a track record of being very useful. It probably is worse than a 50-50 success rate. So I just wouldn't be comfortable using this However, right now, as I said, I'm very biased to the upside because we just got a really big pump inside of an exponential bullish bull market. So this would at best be a neutral sign, at best, and a neutral sign is a bullish sign in a bull market, in my opinion. You remember when I used to give you those terrible analogies of, you know, like there's this high school crush you have, and she can do absolutely anything, and you'd still be attracted to her because you're that head over heels over her. You could like fart, and you would still find it attractive. That's what I see for Bitcoin potentially at this kind of stage. We are dumping pretty hard right now, but I absolutely think that it could be in that kind of shape. So roughly around over here is the second level that I mentioned I would enter another long position. Well, I would increase my current long position at roughly this level. So let me see how, I mean, this looks great, yeah. So if we bounce, if we keep dropping from here, it's just a bad trade. I would put it down to bad luck, but honestly, like I said, I would take this trade 10 times. So actually, it's time for me to put in my second entry here. Just telling VIP members about it. So usually I would do these trades with a lot more notice, but obviously today is just a very, very fast moving market. So it's just not possible. Just can't do it even if I wanted to. But that's absolutely fine. So yeah, just expanded my position there. Now is where I will set my stop loss as well. So for those of you who were mentioning, who were asking, I'm placing my stop loss at $33,000. Yeah, $33,000 with an index. I always use index stop losses. So there are tutorials inside of VIP on how I do all of this stuff. Ready to come back on. There we go. Trading live with you guys. So inside of VIP, it's much more structured, but on a day like this, there's just not any opportunity to plan this trade in advance because this entire pump came out of nowhere. So this is one of those rare circumstances where I'm actually trading and telling VIPs about it on very short notice. Getting a nice little bounce up already. Just telling VIP members about where I've put my stop loss, the exact number. So, yeah, pretty happy with this. This is a very, very good trading opportunity in my opinion. It's a strong support area, so I'd be very surprised if it breaks, and if it does, then like I said, if you missed it when I said it the first time, this is an example of one of those trades that I would make 10 times, and I believe that out of those 10 times, 8 times it would work out really well, you know. So I would just keep on making it. This one could fail, but the point is, if I make 10 trades like this that look just as good as this, in my opinion, in general, it would work. And so I made a video about this inside of the FORFLIES Academy, and I'm going to paraphrase it. I'm going to say it very quickly for you guys here, comparing trading to gambling. And see, the thing about trading is, so gambling is almost entirely luck, but depending on what gamble you're, obviously poker is different, but you know, if you're playing slot machines or whatever like an idiot, then yeah, it's completely luck based. Trading, on the other hand, is 100% luck based on an individual level. So each individual trade is 100% based on luck, just based on chance. However, when you zoom out and you look at a system of trades and you look at trading across the long term, and long term could be defined as a week, a month, 10 years, 15 years, 3 months, whatever you want to call long term, just something longer term than just one trade. If you're following a good system, then actually, while each individual trade is 100% based on luck, just based on probability, when you zoom out, it is 0% based on luck. And you can prove this pretty easily by, you know, if you keep on entering trades that have an 80% chance of success, and you enter 1,000, it's basically statistically impossible to not come out ahead. Right? So I just want to say that again. If you trade with, if you only take trades that have a theoretical 80% chance of success, for example, it could be 60, it could be 51, it could be 99, let's say 80%, and you make 100 of those trades, and you make 1,000, 10 million of those trades, it would statistically be nearly impossible to lose money. And that's a really, really big thing to understand in trading. Each individual trade doesn't mean shit. And I have a really strong opinion on this, which is why I trade with very small amounts of my portfolio. Between 1 and 8%, something like that. You know, depending on the mood, depending on the way the wind hit me, things like that. Usually very, very small. And, you know, one of the big reasons for that is actually to do with this, my head, my psychology. Because by trading with small amounts, there is no one position that can either make or break me, right? At one single position can never either hurt me really badly or make me very, very excited. And that means that overall, my psychology stays very neutral. My psychology stays very neutral as I go along, regardless of the fluctuations in the market. Regardless of the fluctuations in my trading, my mindset is still on point. And that's what allows me to keep trading in what I consider to be safe and good ways. Sandra saying, great live stream. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in, Sandra. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Shout out to you guys who got this book. I promise you, if you take it seriously and you read it again and again and again and you implement what these guys are talking about, you will find it very, very useful. Cheng Pin, how hard is it to set up a bank account in Dubai? Probably not harder than the rest of the world. Is there any barrier for converting crypto to local currency? That I will not answer. I'm sorry. Mark, your analogies are great, very understandable. Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad you like them. How much did I start with that first? £300. $500, something like that. But that's very misleading because I made money in a lot of ways, you know. It's not like I went from £300 to like $1 million. I didn't do that. And I never claimed to have done that. FORFLIES, I'll start the audiobook on 2x speed right after your stream. That's amazing. You're in for a great night because you've just listened to this live stream, and I consider it to be the best analysis you can find anywhere. And then you're gonna go on and read the book, and there's people even better than me in that book. You know, much better than me. So you're gonna be tuned into the right frequencies. And you know what? I'm gonna do it after the stream. I'm gonna listen to it too. FORFLIES, it's been the most meaningful live stream you've done for a while. Thank you, Mega Skaters, man. Yeah, it really feels like it. It really feels like a very, very good live stream. If you guys have been enjoying this one, let's shoot up those likes. It really, really feels like it to me as well. But yeah, I just want to go back to the point I was making about each individual trade not mattering. When you zoom out with a good system, you will see that if you do have a good system and you... So there's two aspects to it, and I talk about this in the course and VIP and things like that. There is defining a system and then refining a system. And if you don't do one of these things, you will fail. First thing you need to do is actually create a system. That means, you know, things like not over trading, not panic trading, things like that. Number two, refining it. You will constantly have to change that system, and I've had to do that recently because my success rate has taken a hit. Over the past 6 months, it's been very good. January, it's not been so good. Still, I'm sure there's been a good trade in January, maybe just one. I didn't trade too much in January. Maybe in January I only traded like 3 times. But out of the, if I did trade 3 times, theoretically, I don't know what the numbers are. 2 of them failed, you know, just to put it into perspective. So I have had to change my strategy, right? And that's a big part of it. Jeff Bezos just bought Bitcoin. Interesting. Are taxes high in Dubai? There's no tax in Dubai. There's only 5% VAT and very high initial fees. So that's the way they tax you in Dubai, and things like speeding tickets and stuff. But so, like, to put it into perspective, to start up a business in Dubai, it might cost you like £1,000, $1,200, $1,300. Whereas to start up a business in the UK or in the US, it might only cost you like $100. So they charge everyone really, really high base fees of like community charges or whatever, but they don't tax you. And I actually prefer that model. Obviously, I would prefer that model, you know, but I think it's good for more than just people like me, because it will attract. So like I moved my company here from the UK because the UK can go to hell. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm sorry, that was a very bad thing to say. But the UK government can go to hell. I'll definitely say that with a smile. And so I had to leave the UK, and Dubai attracted me because they have great policies and things like that. And now I've hired someone in Dubai, so I've created a job here, you know, and I might be hiring a second person quite soon as well here in Dubai. So and I have plans for that already set out. FORFLIES, you start with small amounts, but later with the compounding gains, the margin became bigger. How do you manage it? Psychology. Good question. So let me paraphrase what this person asked me. This person asked me, as I'm getting more successful with my trades, my trading balances get bigger. This is a problem that a lot of VIP members are very familiar with. How do you manage it, the psychology? For a very long time, I didn't manage it. I still traded with small amounts because I was scared of trading large amounts. This is a very individual thing, and the way I became more comfortable trading with larger amounts was journaling my trades and looking at my track record. I have really, really good friends around me. I have an amazing team around me as well, and that helped me as well. But broadly speaking, I think it's quite an individual thing how to gain the confidence to trade with more money as you keep making money. In an ideal world, you would just have no emotional investment no matter what you did. But obviously, that's more idealistic than realistic. Matej, the books we're talking about, they're in the description. The main one I'm talking about is called Market Wizards, which is in the description. Somebody asked me, did I buy 2 times the same amount of contract? No, I bought with more the first time and less the second time. So to put some perspective on this trade, my stop loss is around this first red line. And if we do dump below this green line, this is where I'll start to get anxious. This is where I wouldn't want the price to drop anymore. And we're doing that right now, actually. And if we fell down to this red line, I would be out of the trade with about a 25-27% loss. Actually, probably a little bit less than that now because my second entry was so low. Probably about, yeah, roughly about a 20% loss. Which is great. Super comfortable with that. That's 20% loss, and if we go up to my main target, which would probably be about over here, it's a, you know, nearly a 60% profit. That's a 3 times risk to reward ratio. That's really good. That's really, really good. Do we have any final questions? Good question here. I always say that this kind of pump is because of emotions. So, I mean, this was fear of missing out, but yeah, that's an emotion. And they tend to dump fast. Yes, they do. As we can see on screen. So why would I do a long trade? The reason I would do a long trade is that I believe, as per my trading history, the way I've learned, the way I've been successful in trading, I believe that technical levels will be more significant than psychological fear and doubt and things like that. So I believe that even though we have a lot of emotional buying and selling happening in the market right now, I think that there's a good chance that it would stop at this support area. And that's why I open a long trade here. Because, you know, to put it into perspective, let's put it into perspective right now, just to show you my point. This is a pretty easy area to identify as support for Bitcoin. We topped out over here roughly. We got rejected roughly around over here. And I think most importantly, we found some nice support here. There are a lot of arbitrary support levels you can draw on the chart. This would be one of them. And Bitcoin ended up pumping up with the same bad reasons as we pumped up today. You know, just a fear of missing out and things like that. Bitcoin pumped up in the same way up to $34,000. And then it dumped down out of fear. You know, people getting scared. It was a very, very big dump. Maybe this is the end of the bull market, whatever, name any reason. However, this dump stopped at an important technical level. And I'm sure there's some Fibonacci confluence here. I'm sure there is some EMA confluence here. Let's take a look. I'm sure there is. Let's take a look at this. Oh, no, there's not. There's no EMA confluence here on the 4-hour time frame. Let's see the daily. There's definitely going to be some support on the daily, I'm sure. Oh, no. Wow. Okay. Never mind. None there as well. So where did we have the support then? Was it on the Ichimoku Cloud? Because there must have been something, you know, like we wouldn't just dump for no reason. Sorry, we wouldn't just bounce for no reason. Doesn't look like it though. So it was just a, I guess this was a bad example. Yeah, this was just a bad example. I'm sorry. Let me find you a better example. This is probably a good example. Yeah, this is a good example. Yeah. Let's use this as the example. Let's zoom in. You know, obviously a lot of emotional. I've been saying for a long time, anyone buying after 12K, you know, is not buying at a good level in my opinion. There were plenty of really good, healthy opportunities to enter Bitcoin before it passed $12,000. 12,000 is where I entered my long position, and then ran a beautiful 380, 360%, something like that profit in this market. VIP saw me doing it in real time, of course. It was a lot more planned out than today's trade, by the way. It was a lot healthier than today's trade. But we established an all-time high. No, I'm sorry. We established a 3-year high at this level. We came back down to this level to test it as support. And so, you know, we did dump out of fear and whatever psychological reasons you want to label it as, but we fell down to a technical level. And this technical level is what Bitcoin bounced off. So I absolutely think that technical levels will trump psychology in most cases. Depends over here though, because see, we've ran out of support now. The support area was over here. So we've got to pump really quickly. Otherwise, I would see this trade going south. Yeah, so even if we consolidated here, I would still, if we consolidated here, I would be uncomfortable. Just being here, I'm uncomfortable. And if we consolidate, that to me would not be an indication that we're going to pump up. That would be an indication we'll dump down. So this is actually, if we consolidate, this is where I would close my position in a very small 5-10% loss. Right now, if we pump up quickly, I would still be comfortable in this position. If we pump up quickly now, I would be very, very happy. Like that to me would be a pretty strong confirmation. But, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, we'll see it during this live stream. Got a really cool comment here. Hang on, I gotta find this again. Prime 2D. Other YouTubers give you this rush feeling like you're gonna win big. It causes me to be more risky. Yes, it does, of course. I mean, that's how you get views at the end of the day on YouTube, right? I love that your emotions are well controlled, reminding me that I should be alert and strategic. 100%, man. Trading is that way. It's absolutely, I think, dysfunctional to be on the hype train all the time, and that definitely makes it quite difficult to stay sensible with your trades. So I'm glad that this channel helps you do that. And again, it's why, like, a big part of how I've been able to achieve this is no individual trade will make or break me. You know, like, I will never see life-changing money from one trade ever. I just don't trade with enough money to do that. So oh, we've just got the whole post for VIPs. Let me put this into VIP. This was written up by Andreas. And it details my full position details. Yeah. So once again, for those of you tuning in, Andreas is our lead analyst inside of FORFLIES VIP and FORFLIES Gold. He is one of the big minds behind this this YouTube channel, other than me, of course. And every trade he makes, I make as well. So he writes out the trade stuffs for me for VIP. Bro, we got finessed by Elon. Yeah, I don't know. So look, with this support area, I'm still very optimistic. And like I said, if we don't close here, you know, how long have we got on this candle? This candle's got 8 minutes left to close. This is also the 4-hour candle, so if we don't close here, I would be pretty happy. If we did close here, I might. So in situations like this, another strategy that I have to reduce risk is I would close out, say, because I'm not completely uncomfortable. Like I'm uncomfortable with the position, but I'm not completely out yet. I still think it has a lot of potential. I might just close half of my position in a small loss. Because what is the loss right now? Let me take a look. The loss is small. You know, it's minus 15%. So I would decide to close out, say, half of my position at this kind of level, and then, you know, leave the other half in to still ride up. DMT, shout out from Israel. Thank you very much. Fantastic live stream. Thank you. Where can I invest £1 to become a millionaire? Like maybe a really good ebook about money. Do you think this current downward movement could be related to Jan 29 option expiration? Really good questions, Changpin. Consistently very good questions. Yes, absolutely. I think so. I think that we will just tend to get volatility around future expiration contracts. Yes, absolutely. Richard asking for a free trial. So I mean, these videos are always free. 100% free all the time. You know, and I think they're pretty good videos, these live streams and things like that. Where do I think ETH will be? Let's take a look at Ethereum. I've only been looking at Bitcoin during this dump. So, I mean, yeah, ETH has got a support over here. It could bounce up from this kind of level, honestly. It wouldn't surprise me at all. It has nice Ichimoku support and things like that, so it's got support all over this region. It could come all the way down here and it would still have support. However, I don't want it to break this trend line, because this trend line has been very good, and I think if we break it, it could turn into resistance, and that would make me very uncomfortable with Ethereum as well. Changpin, I like the way you keep your psychology healthy. Great strategy. It's a very important thing, and no one really talks about it. Yeah, they don't really talk about it because they're not real traders. You know, like if you were a real trader, you would have to think about these things, because you would be battling them every single day. But if you're not a real trader, then you don't need to consider these things, because you don't trade, so it never happens. You never have those problems. But absolutely, I'm very glad I was able to help with that. Do I really believe that Elon Musk bought BTC? Well, he didn't say that he bought BTC. He just said that it would be inevitable, and he changed his bio to it. He just created hype. I'm late in the stream today. Don't you think it's very bad to rely too much on the rally pushed by Elon? Not relying on it. I'm relying on technical support. Elon, so, you know, at any given time, big market moves will be driven by some sort of news. And in this case, it was just completely unexpected, obviously, seeing the pump in the first place. However, it's absolutely not concerning to me, you know, as long as we can stay above this green line, to be honest. You know, because I think that... I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I think that this hype caused by Elon, it's, you know, like in a few days, if Bitcoin recovers above this level, in a few days, this Elon Musk news is going to be irrelevant. And the thing that will be relevant is we got rejected at this this resistance, and hopefully we bounced off this support. So that's what would be important. I should say that the final thing, obviously I'm not going to be streaming in 4 hours. The final thing for me is if we close the day on the UTC time, you can't see the clock here, can you? So on the UTC time zone, which I believe is Britain right now, the UK, in 4 hours the day will end. And if we close the day and we're still below this green line, I'm probably out of the position completely, just with a small loss, because I just wouldn't be comfortable staying in at that point. It would be a daily close below that level, and that would make me very uncomfortable. All the newbies panic selling now. Yeah, 100%. Guys, I'm gonna go through some final questions. We're up to the 2-hour mark, and this is where I start to get very exhausted. Prime 2D. Oops. This is a good comment. You truly are a pro. I would have pulled out by now in fear. You're so relaxed. I've shit myself during a lot of trades, brother. But the difference is now I trade with such small amounts to the point where, like I said, no one trade can make or break me. So I don't get nervous. I stand to lose peanuts if this trade goes bad now. You know? And I stand to make peanuts. And that's the point. Because I will compound these peanuts. I will compound these peanuts and I will have a fucking oak tree. That's my approach. Well, peanuts don't grow on oak trees, but wherever peanuts grow, I will compound these peanuts. And I will have a peanut tree? Where do peanuts grow? Oh, and actually, as we rise up again, another thing to mention is that I would also, in positions like this, potentially close half of my trade at break even. Actually, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I don't think it's a bad idea to close this trade at break even. A little bit, maybe half of it. You know, just as a risk management practice. But it doesn't really matter too much in my opinion. See, nice recovery now. And you know what's absolutely great about this recovery is, see, we've got over here, we've got 1 minute 20 left on this 1 hour candle. And now we're getting the pump. So we're getting the pump before the 1 hour candle closes. We're getting the pump before the 4 hour candle closes. And this is a lot of the time what will happen. We will get really big moves just at the hourly close. And as long as we don't close at those kind of levels, to me, we're in the clear. We're doing good, in my opinion. And that's why I have my stop loss here. You know, so going back to your comment, Prime, that's why I have my stop loss at this level. You know, like, I will panic at my stop loss, to put it simply. And that's why my stop loss is there. What else have we got, guys? I want to take your final questions and then head off this live stream. Peanuts grow in the ground? Yeah, that would make sense. A peanut farm. Thanks for reminding me to drink water. That's amazing. Yeah, drink water, guys. Everyone needs to drink more water. Yeah, so the candle just closed. And I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. So here's how I would decide if I was going to close half of my position now, close to break even. It's not break even. Right now, what is my trade at? Right now, my trade is at a 6% to 7% loss. So at this stage, I would only close half of my position if I traded with a lot of money in this trade. If I put a little bit too much money in here and I started thinking, oh shit, I'm gonna lose a lot, or this isn't looking good, I'm getting a little bit too nervous, this is where I would take out half of my money. However, on this occasion, I didn't trade with too much money because my previous trade failed, And I mentioned earlier on in this live stream, when I have a trade that fails, I usually kill the momentum straight away to limit future losses. My primary objective, ladies and gents, I say this all the time, is protecting my capital. Always my primary objective. And that means I will always seek to take measures to save myself from losing money. That's always my top priority. And one of the ways I do that is reducing the amount that I trade with very quickly if things go bad, just in case I enter a loss streak. I haven't purchased Bitcoin before. Is now a good time? Sorry, I just joined the chat. I couldn't tell you right now, man, if it's a good time. You know, that's going to be up to you. Usually the standard answer is the best time to buy Bitcoin was 10 years ago, and the second best time is today. That's usually, I think, a pretty safe answer. I haven't read Principles, no. Is it a good book? Should I read it? Oh, yes, Julius, you asked about the S&P 500. Thank you for sticking around so long. Let's look at the S&P 500. Is it falling out of a wedge? Depends on how you draw the wedge. This wedge is too tight, in my opinion. Where is my parallel tool? This wedge, if this is what you're talking about, is too tight. Although, definitely, we have fallen out of it. So, yes. It has fallen out of a wedge. But I don't know how much significance I would attribute to this, to be honest. Where do I aim to take profit? So let me talk about my take profits here. It's already outlined in VIP. But let me tell you guys about it as well. So my take profit strategy is pretty simple. Okay, so if we're taking a second dump, which we're doing right now, this is where I would... this is where I would seek extra risk management to close more of the trade. If we dump down again, that's really bad. Really, really bad in my opinion. So, like, the first time we dump, we usually get a quick bounce. Second time, we will usually penetrate lower. And if we're about to get that second dump here, this is where it's bad. This is where I'm not comfortable at all. So I'll see how this goes. Probably decide this after the live stream because it's too much pressure with 1,200 people watching me live. And then I'll make my decision. So I'll probably get going relatively soon to decide how I play this. You don't like Elon Musk? I love him. I really, really like Elon Musk. He's my favorite. I love Teslas. I love what he does. I love how he expresses himself. Role model for me. Johnny, how do I explain the pump to 38.5 and the fast dump to 33.5? This is the dump he's talking about. Yeah, right here, guys, I'm going to close out half of my position. I'm not comfortable with this. And I'm going to leave the other half in. So this is an 11% loss. I'm closing half of it right here. Beautiful risk management. Very happy with it. Just notifying VIP members as well. So the reason I've closed half of my position is similar to, and I might just increase the position again, you know, so if we pump above this green box, I would probably increase my position. Where I'm taking profits, so a good area I think to take profits here, and it's already outlined in VIP, is I think I would be taking profits around here, because this is where we were finding some resistance. This is where we were bouncing off, so this is just an important zone between 35 and 36,000. Beyond that, I would look to take profits at 38,000. This is the exciting take profit level. This is just risk management. This is money in my pocket. So this is just to prevent me from losing money. This is if things go well. Very, very important to take note of. And if we rise above these levels, I'd probably increase the position. And if we rise above this green box, I would still hopefully be in my long position. I will run it up to 42, the all-time high. And I would expect it to rise up to $50,000. So again, you know, this minor 11% loss that I just said I'm in is nothing in front of the potential of a 45% pump on 5 times leverage. That is a 225% profit if my math was correct. It's huge. It's fucking enormous. Like, it's absolutely enormous. 225% potential upside is what I'm seeing on this trade. And that's why I said I'd take this trade 10 times. Closing words on Ethereum. I think Ethereum will do whatever Bitcoin does, brother. I think it will do it a little bit delayed, and then I think it will do it very strong. Who's better at shaking market prices by tweeting? Definitely Elon Musk. I don't think Peter Schiff has any say in the market, to be honest. Donald Trump, I don't know how much sway Donald Trump had. Oh yeah, somebody asked me why we dumped here and why we why we got a rejection here and why we dumped so fast. I think it's just because it was a pump out of emotions. You know, it was fear of missing out. It was people very, very excited, and that tends to bite you back in the ass really quickly. But again, like I said, I'm expecting the support area to support Bitcoin up, and you know, really, it's a case of if we dump below this green line again, this is where I get and we've already done that, but we've now recovered up. You know, so this is where I get a little bit uncomfortable, thinking that the trade has failed. However, yeah, I think I will definitely increase the position again if we rise above this green box, something like that. That would make me feel quite comfortable. You think Elon Musk is Satoshi Nakamoto? I don't. I actually think the theory of Bitcoin being created by the NSA, I think that theory is potentially pretty realistic. It sucks that if you trade Ethereum, you have to watch Bitcoin as well. I only trade Ethereum because the profits are greater. Well, my strategy is I watch Bitcoin and then I trade Ethereum. And it's for the same reason as you. It's just that Ethereum, someone says Bitcoin's going to zero. It's just because Ethereum tends to move better. Do I think Bitcoin will crash soon? No. However, if we do conclusively drop below this box, I would be very bearish again. I would completely flip. And I said this earlier in the live stream, I would completely flip, and I would expect us to go down to like 27, 24. Somebody here mentioned that he's in a loss, and the stream helped him analyze the trade he took. That's great. Yeah, absolutely great. And, you know, you will know that you're trading in healthy ways when you, like me, can sit in front of a loss like this and not panic. Because it means that you're not trading with too much money. It means that you're not taking this too seriously. Too seriously is not the right word, but, you know, you're not, like, overly invested emotionally or financially. And it means that you have a track record and you keep track of what you do. You know, that's why I'm able to sit here. And to be fair, it's only an 11% loss. It's nothing. But that's why I'm able to sit here and look at an 11% loss and feel nothing over it. Because I know that overall the system is really good. It gets refined really well. And that's what has put me on top consistently over the years. So I'll just keep on trusting what's already worked. No need to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? Like, if it works, don't try to fix it. Which areas exactly to watch out for? So if Bitcoin does dip below into this area again, so my stop loss is at this first red line, roughly. If Bitcoin does dip into this area again, I'd be very concerned. My stop loss is here, so I would just let it go down to my stop loss now, though. The areas I'm looking out for would be this support box here. Oh, so this is $33,000 is my stop loss. I would expect to potentially find a little bit of support at about 32,000 and then a little bit of support at 30,000. However, I gave you that terrible analogy of a fat guy falling through the floor. If that was the case, and it would be the case if we fell down to these levels, I would expect Bitcoin comes down to 27.7 and then ideally down to 24.4. The problem is that I would actually find it more difficult to be bullish on the market if we dumped now, because what we really need to keep in mind is Bitcoin today had a very, very good chance to set a new all-time high over the weekend, over the next few days. Bitcoin today had a very, very good chance to do that, and it still hasn't blown that chance. Like, it still absolutely could do that. I still think it will because of the analysis that I've given you throughout this live stream. However, if we fall below this support level, which I believe to be a strong support level, if we fall below it, I don't think Bitcoin is going to have that strength in it anymore. And that will actually make me think we'll probably dump very low. I don't think we're going down to 20, like I said at the beginning of this live stream. I don't think we're going back to 20. However, I do think it means that we will go pretty low, like say 24, and then maybe bounce back up. A lot of people talking about, like, they don't know where to trade and things like that. So I've got referral links in the description to the exchanges that I like to use. I think they're great. I've used them a lot. As far as I know, they haven't ever been hacked. I need to tell you about PrimeXBT. They are one of our channel sponsors, and they're in the description as well. I'm going to bring up their page right here. And these guys actually, so somebody asked me about where to buy Bitcoin. These guys have actually just partnered up with, I forgot the name of who they partnered up with, but they just partnered up with a company, I don't know, over the past week, something like that. And it is just to allow you to buy Bitcoin very easily and then trade with it on PrimeXBT. So this, in my opinion, is a very, very good exchange. It's very different to the rest of the exchanges, so if you want something a little bit simpler, it might not be for you. However, the thing that jumps out to me with this exchange is you can trade indices like the S&P 500, you can trade forex currencies like the euro against the dollar, you can trade gold, you can trade commodities, indices, forex, and crypto in one place. You only need to deposit Bitcoin, and there's no KYC required as well. And now they've just announced a collaboration to allow you to buy Bitcoin directly, like with a credit card and stuff like that. So that's huge. They don't list it on the website for some reason, so I couldn't tell you who it was, but you will see it when you sign up. And the link to these guys is in the description. So I only use 3 exchanges, and this is one of them, if you're interested. Yeah, so link is in the description. FORFLIES. 8:11 p.m. London time now. Usually the chances of Bitcoin dumping increase at about 22:30. That doesn't sound realistic. I'm not sure where you got that data from. So yeah, guys, I usually don't change my plan too much when I've already committed to it. I trust the plan. I've trusted the plans many times, and it's saved me a lot. So again, the system I believe is very good. It's been amazing over the past 6 months. I feel no reason to change it. So I'm staying in this and committing to my plan that I already set out. I did take half of my risk off the table at a small 11% loss, and I'm very happy about that. I feel better now. However, I'm not too worried about it. Mustafa asking, are non-KYC required exchanges even safe? Yeah, why not? There's no particular reason that they'd be more unsafe than another exchange, in my opinion. PrimeXBT is unregulated. I think almost every Bitcoin... No, I know almost every Bitcoin leverage exchange is unregulated. Almost every single one. Very few exceptions. That is just... It's not necessarily to say, well, he murdered someone so he can too. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is that it is the norm to be unregulated. And if you want regulated, then actually I wouldn't know where to go, because I don't know any exchanges that are regulated. Maybe Kraken, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it is risk. There is an inherent risk, and that's why I say it's always a good idea to have multiple accounts on these exchanges. Sorry, multiple accounts on multiple exchanges. That's what I always say. Oh, guys, we just passed 2 hours, 15 minutes. So I'm definitely going to get going now. I've got some stuff to take care of, and oh, it's midnight as well here. Bloody hell. So I'm going to get going now. I hope you have all enjoyed this stream. If you've learned something, if you found it useful, if you found it interesting, if you liked seeing me trade live, just, you know, seeing the psychology of me trading, if that was interesting, then please let me know by clicking like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I think, by the way, we might have just passed 65,000 subscribers. Let me take a look. I think so. Let's see. Yeah, we've just passed 65,000 subscribers during this live stream, so thank you very much. Very, very cool. Thank you all. And with that, I will be heading off now, because it has been 2 hours, 15 minutes. John T, you should do more live streams. This was a really great session. Thank you, John. Yeah, I 100% will. I do them a lot lately. I really have been doing them a lot. One thing I will note, I will almost never trade live. It's very rare for me to do this. And number one, again, there is an element of pressure, right? Like, there's 1,200 people watching me trade live right now, and every single one of you are judging me. So there is a little bit of pressure. Like, I got used to that. Yeah, I've been a YouTuber for like 10 years since I was 9 years old. So, you know, pressure is normal for me now, but that alone can kind of impact my decision making. And that's also why I have Andreas, because he's not like me. He doesn't have the same pressures I have. And he, you know, he is part of the team. But also, I don't trade on short notice like this. You know, it's very rare that I haven't decided this trade well in advance. You know, I almost always will make the decision about making a trade like this very, very far in advance. Very far. At least 12 hours, if not 24, if not a couple of days. And that's why, you know, like, I get a lot of questions sometimes, people asking me about joining VIPO, but I'm on the other side of the world. Am I going to have a time zone problem in VIP? No, absolutely not, because my analysis is not so short term. You know, I do things and I plan things well in advance. I analyze in advance, you know, so you're probably never going to see me trading live again. This was a very fun one-off. And it's for good reason. It's because everything I do is premeditated from far in advance. One of the things I like about the style of trading that I've grown into. This stream was quite interesting. Thank you from Serbia. Thanks a lot for your advice. I don't give advice, but thank you. Great stream. Thanks for the stream. Appreciate your work. And the team. Yeah. Yeah, thank you to the team. I'm sure they're gone by now. It's been 2 hours, but yeah, huge thanks to the team always. It's what makes it possible. Like I said, I said it at the beginning of this live stream, we've just hired somebody new. We're doing contracts and compliance stuff over this weekend, and we're going to bring her on board probably like Monday, Tuesday. So I'm really excited for that. FORFLIES, it was kind to get insight into how you think and map the trade. I learned plenty. That's amazing. Very, very glad you learned a lot. Paolo also learned a lot. That's huge. Yeah, amazing comments. You could still make the planned trades while on live stream. Andy, yeah, good idea. I might do it more often. So, I mean, those things I always do in the VIP group. So that's why I don't talk about it in the live stream, in the YouTube videos, because that's where the value is in the VIP group. If I did it here, then there would be no reason to join VIP. Well, there would be less reason. There's a lot more, but I think that's a big part of it. Digital, how did I close half of my position? So let's say I entered a position worth $10,000. I would buy back $5,000 of that position, and now I only have half of my risk left in there. That's how I did it. Alright guys, I really hope you have enjoyed this one. If you want to see how I trade with all of my stuff, and actually you want to, if you want to see how the past 6 months have been, then when you're in the VIP group, you can actually see every trade I've made historically as well. You just need to scroll up. You'll see the trades I made, what made me consider doing them, the trades I was considering making, and what made me decide not to take them as well. There are a lot of people with these kind of testimonials that I've shown you who have mentioned, and this is what I really, really like, is that they've mentioned that they joined VIP, and for the first like 2 days, my lip is messed up. For the first like 2 days, they just spent their time looking at the historic track record and things like that inside of VIP, and that's how they extracted value, you know. And from there, because they really got a good feel for things, they absolutely, in my opinion, had the right start in VIP, and then, you know, they would show me on day 3, day 4, they've just made a 70% gain or something like that, and that is a big part of it, in my opinion. You know, there's a lot. We don't delete anything in the channel, so you can see the mistakes I've made, you can see the correct decisions I've made, you can see why I made those mistakes or correct decisions. There's a lot that goes into it, and if you want to join the group, if you want to find out how to join, then the steps to join right now are on screen. Real trading. You've seen it today in front of you. Kraken down for 3 hours, Kraken down for 12 hours. Crazy. Yeah, a lot of exchanges are at all-time highs in terms of everything. Definitely learned a lot from your thought process. Super grateful. It's amazing, Nicholas. I will try and do more videos like this. Yeah, I will try and do more. So somebody mentioned I can plan these things in videos. You know, one of the things that I do is after the trade is over, I talk about it. And that's, you know, like hindsight analysis on the trade. That happens a lot in VIP as well. Why are all crypto YouTubers in Dubai? It's just a good place to be right now, man. You know, like there's not so many restrictions. So once again, you would click on the first link in the description if you want to join VIP, and then click on the @FORFLIES button, and then click on send message to ask me how to join VIP. I am 19, yeah, believe it or not. Actually, my final friend in my friend group has just turned 20 over the past month, and now I'm the last person in my friend group to be a teenager, and I am terrified of continuing to grow up, because it happens really quickly after 18. Bounce? Big bounce? Not a big bounce. Nice bounce. It's an okay bounce. Do I have downtime? Not really. No, I thought about this. There's no such thing as a vacation for me, because it's not necessarily like I have a life that I don't like living. I'm very lucky to be able to say that so early on. Very nice pump, yeah. But I consider reviewing this trade 100%. 100%. If I live stream tomorrow, I will talk about it. If I just make a video tomorrow, I will talk about it 100%. Yeah, I will keep talking about this trade. If it's successful, you know you'll keep hearing about it. If it's not successful, I will also analyze it and break down absolutely everything I did. 100%, yeah. Always. Is this a good pounce? No, it's still too early to say, you know, so I don't think this is telling me much. Let's zoom into the 5-minute time frame. This is nothing. Wait, what? Are we looking at the I have to use the 1-minute time frame now. My god, I feel like a degenerate. Yeah, this is not a substantial I mean, to be honest, this looks like a typical rising wedge that could break down. Look, we've already had a few. Look at this. We've already had quite a few. Looks like something like that again. However, this one kind of maxed out the support, so it could be different. I didn't go to the golf tournament, no. Only sports I'm interested in are racing sports. And that's not even really a sport, to be honest, is it? Randy, my tutorial on Phemex answers your question. So if you want to see how to trade on Phemex, you can type this into YouTube. And you'll see my tutorial. Alright guys, I'm going to head off. I really am going to do it this time. So please, for a final time, like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate that. Let's see how many subscribers we're up to now. Just past 65,000 today. Really do appreciate that. And it's been a great live stream. I've really enjoyed it. I can tell that you guys have as well. So thank you all for tuning in. And I'll see you all in the next video. Alright, take it easy. Bye-bye.